Welcome to the Sheff United way. Bristol City versus Sheffield United. It's the playoffs, baby. The game will be televised live on Sky Sports Football. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. ahead of an 8 p.m. kickoff. First up, a huge thank you to 𝗂𝗏𝗃 Bar and Grill for supporting the channel. You can find us there before every home game and post game, either celebrating or drowning our sorrows. It's a great premium bar and it's situated less than half a mile from beautiful downtown Bramall Lane.
Also, a huge thank you to 𝗲𝗏𝗃. They are a virtual band who create innovative musical experiences just for you. But you already knew that, didn't you? We've been talking about them for long enough. But please do go to 𝗲𝗏𝗃.com and check them out because they are awesome.
Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale.
Yeah, I remember when Nick first made that. I didn't like it. It's really grown on me. And speaking of Nick, let's bring him in. Nick joining me for this video. How are you after a very busy night? Get you schmoozing and meeting all the players.
Do you know what? And I'm not even that hungover this morning. And do you know what? That's age. That's age. I literally got to a point and I'm like, stopping drinking now. I'm a dad of two. I need to grow up.
Well, that's an option. So just for those unaware, you went to the Player of the Season Awards and you got to meet quite a few of them. Do you want to just give us a quick kind of recap of the evening? And then maybe we'll talk a little bit later on about the Bash charity game.
Yeah, of course. No, it was a fantastic evening. Gus won a couple of awards, maybe more than a couple, actually. I remember seeing him hold two, but I think there was another one or two that he picked up. Michael Cooper picked up a couple of awards as well, which was great to see. Very, very well deserved. 𝗍𝗍𝗃 got Young Player of the Year as well. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 Campbell with the Golden Boot. Gus, one of them that he picked up was Goal of the Season. So yeah, obviously the lads that we expected to get the awards got the awards. Like I said, Michael Cooper, it's great to see people, especially as normally the goalkeeper, when the goalkeeper gets an award, it's when you finish towards the bottom end of the table. So it's nice to see his contributions be recognised. Met a lot of the players, as you just mentioned. Mostly it was just me going up and asking for photos, really. So there's not a lot I can really say other than they were all very, very nice lads. And 𝗍𝗍𝗃's just gone even further up in my estimations because he was fantastic. And if you've not seen the video on social media, 𝗍𝗍𝗃 singing 𝗲𝗏𝗃 was just wonderful. It really was. One thing that Hal wouldn't be very happy about was he kept bashing the microphone really loud, like clapping. And I think, you in your job, Hal, hurting microphones is not the one, is it?
You've got to treat the microphone extremely gently. This is the same microphone that I've had now for 25 broadcasting years. So I've obviously not been bashing it. We'll talk about bash in a moment, but I have a quick story for you because today I went back to Bahrain from Saudi Arabia and I went to the American supermarket that they've got here and I went to pay and the cashier said, "Can I have your phone number, please?" I said, "You seem like a really nice fella, but I'm married." And he said, "No, it's for our rewards program." And I was so embarrassed, and I said, "It's all right. I'm not going to be here long enough to join your rewards program, but thank you. I can never go there again. Absolutely, never show my face there again." So I'm feeling embarrassed. I'm feeling bashful. But Nick, the question I have for you ahead of Bristol City: are you feeling confident?
A lot of people asked me the same question last night, and I said yes. It feels weird because I think I mentioned this in another video. We've gone into, in my opinion, playoffs in the past with stronger teams or at least stronger form. But we've got such a good squad on paper and they've been delivering all season, winning a lot of games of football. I'm going into it confident. And obviously we had our little wobble earlier on. If we'd have lost the last 3 games of the season, if we'd have lost them all and we'd have had that week from hell a little bit further on, I would have been less buzzing going into this. And I think that's probably how Sunderland are feeling right now, losing 5 games on the trot. Nobody's really going into the playoffs, in really, really great form, really kind of buzzing to get into it because there's quite often that team that kind of just gets into the playoffs on a really good run. We obviously saw Blackburn Rovers at Bramall Lane, but before that, they'd won quite a few games. Millwall have won quite a few games and both missed out. So I don't feel like there's anything to really be scared about. Obviously, this could get clipped up and played again, but right now, I'm confident.
Yeah, I wanted Blackburn. You know that. I said that on this very channel. Let's talk about Blackburn. A quick recap from your point of view and from your vantage point of the lane.
To be honest, we might as well do it here because we certainly didn't do it in the match reaction, did it? We had another guest on that. If you've not seen that, we had Prince Abdullah on the channel for the Blackburn match reaction. We didn't really talk much about Blackburn. It was mostly about the playoffs coming up, and you know, we were answering questions that were coming in thick and fast. So yeah, Blackburn. I honestly, and I said this to my next door neighbour. He said, "You've been to the game today?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Blackburn were rubbish. And I really thought that if it was a game that we needed to win, we could have easily taken them apart. Full strength side and needing to win that game, I think we'd have come away winning that game no problem.
Agreed.
Especially as Blackburn needed to win that game to get into the playoffs, or at least have a chance of getting into the playoffs. They didn't really attack us that much, and the goal that they did score was probably down to our own, you know, got like throwing lads forward and being a bit short at the back. So we had nothing really to play for in this game, and you could really see that it didn't look like we were, you know, desperate to win this game. So yeah, the fact that we could have got Blackburn if we'd have lost that game, I think I'd have been pretty happy as well.
Would have been fine with that. Absolutely right. They needed to win. They didn't play like it. Chris Basham, charity match. Ollie did a really good recap actually on this channel, but from your point of view.
Yeah, I loved it as well. I was, I obviously could have done the match reaction as well, but obviously we've got this planned in. Ollie's got another video planned in, which is coming out tomorrow. So yeah, be ready for that one. You know, ever the promoter. So yeah, the Basham charity match, I was in the lower tier of the Bramall Lane end, which felt a little bit behind enemy lines. Walking in, I'm like, where is everything? It felt really, really odd. But it certainly isn't good as the rest of the stands. I can tell you that for free if you've never been in there.
I've not. It's the only part of the ground I've not seen.
Yeah, same. That's the. Have you been in the what's it called now?
𝗲𝗃𝗍 corner bit. Yeah, I've been in the corner bit next to the cop, but genuinely the last bit left is the Bramall Lane lower, and I guess I'll probably never go in it unless there's another testimonial. Who would that be for?
Yeah,
it was close to 10 years. You know.
Do you know? Funny you should say that though. I was talking to my dad about this, and I feel like Billy Sharp really deserves a testimonial because in all the stints that he's played for Sheffield United, he must have amassed 10 years, and he probably was in the academy for quite a few years even before that. So I think Billy probably deserves one. Paddy was talking on social media as well. He said that he'd been at Bramall Lane for 8 years. So obviously not quite there, and obviously it didn't finish great for Paddy when he left the Blades. But I'm sure there's quite a lot of players that were almost at 10 years. We obviously had Chris Morgan's a few years ago with Jack Whitehall playing, which I went to, which was fun. But obviously this was completely different. It was obviously for Chris Basham, but a charity match for Weston Park and getting those the well-needed scanners. So yeah, it was great to see Steve Bracknell. I'm a massive Steve Bracknell fan, in all honesty. I know he's a pig, but he's a very, very funny pig on social media, and I've been watching him for a very long time. I know he came out sort of like 10 years ago doing these funny Sunday League sort of skits, and yeah, it was great to see him there being opposition to Wilder. It added that little bit of rivalry as well, even though it's a bit of fake rivalry, if you like. Obviously, Basham getting all the love he deserves coming off after 6 minutes, getting his applause. They always do that with the numbers, don't they? We clapped for George Baldock in the second minute. Everybody kind of turning round to look at the George Baldock flag on the cop, just giving him a clap, and the love that him and his family deserve. So yeah, it was just a very, very wholesome day, if I'm being honest. And the funny thing was, if people haven't seen Ollie's video, one of the things that made me laugh, and I didn't even realize at the time, that somebody said behind me, how many players have they got on the pitch? And Steve Bracknell just kept bringing players on and not taking anyone off. And then at one point it was like 16 on 11, 18 on 11. And then right with kind of 30 seconds to go, literally every player ran onto the pitch and it was crazy. And I think it was 𝗲 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗍's son, 𝗍𝗵𝗵𝗃, if I'm right, that missed a chance right at the end when there were about 30, 40 players on the pitch.
Wow.
So, yeah, a really fun, really wholesome, and more importantly, charitable day.
Absolutely. A real kick in the testimonials for Steve Bracknell, and Wednesday still not winning at Bramall Lane. Now, the Blades are unbeaten in the last 3 at Ashton Gate. We are talking about Bristol City versus Sheffield United, with us, of course, taking all the spoils earlier this season. We saw the lads come from behind in that fixture with goals from Ryan O'Neill and, of course, that last-minute Harrison Burrows strike. Wouldn't we love to see something similar again? Well, the team that we will need to beat Bristol City, Nick, I would like you to share your team and also to talk us through it.
There you go. I've popped it on screen already. I was ready just for a change. So this is what I would go with as of right now. This is not a predicted 11. This is what I would like to see. So Michael Cooper, of course, is going to be in the goal. Adam Davies going in the goal for the last game of the season. I assume that was just to make sure that nothing happened to Michael Cooper. And obviously something could have happened. And obviously 𝗍𝗵𝗃𝗍 𝗍 could easily be at right back for this game, but he went off with what I believe was a dislocated shoulder. The reason why I say what I believe is because all I've heard is people saying it was a dislocated shoulder. I've not seen anything from the club as of yet. But he was at the Player of the Year do, still in a sling. Obviously, just making sure that shoulder is okay. I'm not sure of the protocol these days with dislocated shoulders, but as Hal, you alluded to in the Prince video the other day, Nick Montgomery playing the next game after. But yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it these days with the medical staff, making sure that these players should be, fit and it's not going to reoccur. So I've gone with Chowdhury at right back. I've gone with Holding and Anel at centre back, and that's mostly just because I feel like that's our strongest 2. And if we're going into these games, we need to go with our strongest 2. It could easily be Robinson replacing either Holding or Anel, really. But if anyone, I think it's going to be Holding or Anel, or Jack Robinson and Anel. Then we've obviously got Harrison Burrows at left back. Like, it's got to be. It really has. He's been fantastic this season, and I expect him to be there once again. Vinny Souza and Peck, I think that's set in stone, surely, unless anything else has happened that we don't know of. Brereton Diaz. So he's not played for a few games. Same with 𝗍𝗵𝗃𝗍. I don't know why that is. I think Wilder did say that it was a virus that he'd picked up, but he seemed absolutely fine. He was at the Player of the Year do. He was at the Blackburn game as well. So I'm hoping he's fit because I'm a big Ben Brereton Diaz fan. I don't like to see him on that right-hand side, but, Chris Wilder's been playing him there recently, so that's what I would expect. Gus Harmer on the left for me. So obviously it's got to be. I'd like to see him through the middle, but I think Callum O'Hare always plays well when he plays in that central role. Callum O'Hare tends to play more when he's at home, but I would rather see Callum O'Hare in this game than Ryan Brewster, if I'm being honest. And then finally, we've got 𝗍𝗏 Campbell up front. This could easily be a 2, and it could easily be a different formation. But for me, 𝗍𝗏 Campbell, even though he's not scored for a while, I'd always rather go 𝗍𝗏 Campbell, because 𝗍𝗏 Campbell just scores goals, and he scores really important goals as well. But as we've seen recently against Burnley, it could easily be Kiefer Moore and Tom Cannon up front, or Kiefer Moore and 𝗍𝗏 Campbell up front together and going with a 2. And I wouldn't be mad at that. I really wouldn't. What would you like to see, Hal?
Do you know what? I think you're right about Callum O'Hare, that he doesn't always play away from home, and recently he's not been playing as much. So I actually would rather see Harmer in the middle. I'd rather see Ben Brereton Diaz on the left, because that is really one of his best positions, that and a central striker. And I would be tempted to throw 𝗍𝗏 𝗍𝗃𝗍 in as well, because he is a live wire and he can do something. When he's on it, he's really on it. And we might need something special in the away game, because it could come down, if we're 0-0, 85th minute, something special, some bit of magic, just could be absolutely crucial. Disagree, like what you see, let us know your thoughts. It was final day drama for Bristol City, as whilst they fought back from 2-0 down to earn a point at home to Preston, they actually had to wait for confirmation of Blackburn's draw at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane to celebrate. And they did celebrate. There was fans pouring onto the pitch, which I have to say, Nick, thoughts on fans celebrating on the pitch to get in the playoffs?
I think it depends what the team is, and the fact that Bristol City have been kind of like a Preston, and it's crazy the fact that Preston have only just stayed up and Bristol City are in the playoffs, because those two have been interchangeable in kind of 12th and 13th for what seems to be about 30 years. So I kind of get why they did that, but at the same time, they were already in the playoffs. It's not like they were,
That's
3 points outside the playoffs and they've managed to sneak in. But it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to take anything away from them, because they've got into a position where they could get promoted to the Premier League, and I don't know if that's ever happened for them.
I can't remember it, but you're not allowed to encroach on the pitch, so I hope every single one of them is banned for life. The Robins played a 3-4-2-1, O'Leary in goal, back three of Tanner, 𝗤𝗍𝗍. Then you've got 𝗍𝗲𝗻𝗁. He wrote a really nice tweet. Do you remember the Japanese player when he signed for Bristol City? And his English wasn't 100%. And it was a little video, actually. I think he said, "I promise I will do my best for Bristol City." And I just think that is a lovely thing to say when you've only grasped a little bit of the language. He's now fluent, because of course he is. I'd be very interested to see a lad from England go to Japan and pick up Japanese in the short time, but he's done it. Very, very impressive. Very good player on that right-hand side. Williams, Knight, who's played every minute of every game, and goal hero in their previous match, McCrory. By the way, if you get a chance to see those goals, woof. Bird and Twine behind Naki Wells. Bird and Twine sounds like the name of an 1800s haberdashery. Bristol City suffered no fresh injury setbacks against P&E, but Luke McNally and Mark Sykes will miss the entire playoff campaign and therefore the rest of the season. Cameron Pring is doubtful after missing the final games of the regular season. He's got a hamstring complaint, is the official line. His hamstring is not happy. The Blades are unbeaten in the last 7 meetings against Bristol City. I know we spoke about the last 3 at Ashton Gate, but only the last gasp equaliser at Bramall Lane in March stopped them from recording a league double. I mean, Bristol City, if we go for the head-to-head, they've had 10 wins against us. United have beaten them 21 times and 6 draws in recent games. So the stats tell you, and the history tells you, that it's on our side. But we can't take Bristol City for granted. We can't take them lightly. They're on the crest of the wave. They poured onto the pitch after getting that draw, and they will be well up for it at Ashton Gate, one of the biggest cities never to play in the Premier League. Nick, talk to us about players that have played for both.
Yeah, this is always my favourite, and I love reminiscing, talking about players that we've seen at Bramall Lane before. So, firstly, John Stead, I want to talk about, because he is now 42 years young, and he actually played in Bash's testimonial yesterday, not for the Sheffield United side, but for the Sky Sports side, and he's still in great shape. In all honesty, you could say he's in good nick, Hal. But he had to play up front with Morgs, so I let him off for not scoring any goals in that game. He played 3 seasons with the Robins, 83 games, 20 goals between 2010 and 2013. Before that, he was with United in 2006 to 2009, 47 games. That's a lot longer than I remember. 11 goals. Scoring at least a couple of those being bangers, because I remember West Ham at home in that 3-0 demolition that should have really seen us to safety, which obviously ended up not. But what a goal that was. And then there was a beauty at Charlton as well, that, big important goals, and that was a really nicely taken goal. He also wore the number 8 shirt, Hal, which never really sat right with me. What do you think about that?
Ian Wright wore number 8. He was a decent striker. John Stead, that Charlton goal, that was in the awful black and white striped kit.
The massive one.
The massive one.
Dress, yes.
It's a curtain, it's a tent. Let's talk about David Cottrell, David Rees, George Best Cottrell, now 37, could still be playing. Started his career with Bristol City, City's 2006 Young Player of the Season, 66 appearances first time round, 9 goals. He would return to Ashton Gate in the 2016-17 season, 13 matches and 2 goals. Then he went to the Indian Super League and presumably spent too much time in his hotel room looking up conspiracy theories on the internet. 62 appearances and 6 goals for Sheffield United between 2007 and 2010. And if you ask him for an interview, he will ask for money.
Have we said that on this channel before? I think we probably
Just
have.
then.
Yeah, well, we have now. Yes, we have. Someone that
It's
has
not a
never
lie.
asked for, someone that we've never asked for someone that we've never asked for an interview and has never asked for money is 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗕𝗏. Yeah, I know you
I love
love
when
that
you
name as well.
No, I do love that now. I love when you try and do segue links, as we call them. It's like someone who's never asked for money and who we've never asked to do an interview. It's the most convoluted sentence.
Well, it's not written down. That's why I
No,
got it
that's
all
right.
mixed up. But
My
yeah,
bad.
𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗕 spent 2014 to 2017 with Bristol City, 121 appearances, 10 goals. I think it was 𝗣𝗵𝗴 where he really kicked on, but he was really good for Bristol City as well. He then joined the Blades for a record fee. I think he was one of about 6 that year that kept joining as a record fee, but he was certainly a record fee in 2019. 25 matches, just the 1 goal. But the one that the action that I remember more fondly is his sort of assist, which was a cross-come shot against Crystal Palace, first game of the season, boiling hot day. We needed to get off to a winning start. The keeper made a pretty good save, but he pushes it out to Lundstrom, who finishes it off. And I'll always remember that because it was a lovely little bit of build-up play. And yeah, great ball across the sort of keeper, making that good save. And that really kicked us on to finish in 9th place in the Premier League.
Yeah, memories. 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗷, the live wire winger, played for Championship club Bristol City between 2010 and 2012. 65 games, 2 goals. He had 2 seasons with Sheffield United. A real Marmite figure. I loved him, but our statsman Adam, you ask him to list, it's certainly in his worst 11, usually puts 𝗍𝗵𝗲𝗷 at right wing, which I find very strange. But that was from 2014. He had 53 matches, 7 goals in the then League One Sheffield United. Now we come to our score prediction, and if you'd like your score prediction shared here and to get a whole host of benefits, as well as support us, which would be, a rare thing, patreon.com/SheffUnitedWay. It really does help us. So Nick, I'm going to start with you. What is your score prediction for Bristol City versus Sheffield United?
So in our Patreon chat, I went for a 1-1, and I'm going to stick to that because I think that'd see us nicely going into the home leg. We've seen it before. I think it was Nottingham Forest where we went into that 1-1. Happy to come back to Bramall Lane and train. I always say Forest in the playoffs, but I need to start saying in 2023 because we've more recently played them in the playoffs. But I remember those days more fondly. I think you probably do as well.
You need to say 2003.
That's what I said, didn't I?
You said 2023, which is
All right, well,
hang on.
That's my bad. Not written down, see? Not written down. Things need to be written down with me. Yeah, 2003. The Blades went back to Bramall Lane after it being 1-1. Yes, we went 2-0 down, but we obviously came back in that one. I think a draw just sees you nicely into the second leg because it's like all we need to do is win. I think if you go 1-0 up in the first leg, there's always that little bit of jeopardy. It's like, we could just see this out, and we've seen it loads of times in the past where the Blades have gone 1-0 up in a match and then tried to just see it out. So if we went 1-0 up, I don't know. I just feel like that wouldn't be as comfortable as it being a draw. Obviously, we don't want to see a defeat in the first leg. That'd be horrendous because we've often struggled to break teams down when they've sat in a low block. So I would be more than happy with a 1-1.
Nick, the Ron Burgundy of Sheffield United way, all about it has to be written down, and he will read it. Adam has said 0-0. Greg is going 1-1. So is Ewan. Leon says 2-0 Blades. So does Joy. Ash says 1-0 Blades, and Ben thinks we're losing this 2-1.
So let us know what you think in the comments. It's going to be exciting. Whatever happens, it's going to be exciting, Hal, isn't it? Because as somebody put in the comments, we've never won a playoff. We have never won a playoff. And it would be nice. And it'd be nice to see Chris Wilder do it too, because it would have been nice to see Neil Warnock do it, but it'd be even nicer to see Chris Wilder do it.
I know you're happy with a 1-1 in the first leg. I think the way I've seen Sheffield United play this season, if we go a goal down, I'm not going to feel relaxed at all. I would be very concerned. I think the worst thing we could probably do is be 2-0 down from the first leg. I do think that would be, for us to have to try and score 3. And of course, if they get 1 in the second game early on, the thought, it would be terrifying. So I really do think the first leg is absolutely crucial. unlike you, Nick, I'll be very happy if we score first. And actually, I think we've got to go for it. I think it's the most important leg is the first leg. And I think if we could come away with a win, even if you are right, mentally, we might go, we've done enough. We can sit on this lead. I'd still rather be in that position because I do think we are defensively good, but offensively this season, creatively, big concerns.
Do you genuinely feel that the first leg's the most important? Because I feel like sometimes it's a bit of a damp squib. It's like neither team really wants to go full-blooded and go for the win. I feel like the second leg, as a neutral, is always more fun.
Oh, indeed. It's like a Champions League final. It's like a World Cup final, anything. No one wants to be that person that makes that mistake. The first leg will be a cagey affair, probably. I've seen first legs where it's been 4-0 or whatever. And if that happens, it's tie over, which is why we've got to go into that, I think, going for it. Not all out, gung-ho, all attack. I just mean take your chances. I just mean play sensible, but take your chances when you get them.
Did you say gung-ho with this Sheffield United side? When have we ever gone gung-ho this season? We've been very, very cautious.
I want Coventry at home, that performance at Ashton Gate.
Coventry at home, plus Middlesbrough at home, plus Leeds for the first 30 minutes.
With a sprinkling of Leeds in the first 30 minutes. How could we possibly not get everything we've asked for? Well, thank you all for watching or listening to this match preview if you get us via Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you very much. Cheers, Nick.
Cheers, guys.
𝗚𝗿𝗏𝗍𝗗𝗍𝗍